A few days ago, YouTuber PhoenixSC made this video, and in it, one of the things he did was make a data pack that spawns Minecraft's new abandoned camp structure everywhere.
Now, you're going to see around this entire world right now, I have made it so that abandoned camps are going to spawn basically in every single chunk possible.
And at one point in the video, he said this.
The coolest thing happens when you enter the void. The entire structure grid appears right here. And I wonder if it's possible to beat the game in this scenario.
Well, Phoenix, I'm here to tell you that that challenge is absolutely maybe possible. I haven't done the challenge yet. Let's get strategizing. Okay, so I really want to focus on the types of blocks that I can get and also the loot that I can get. There's also these chests. Ooh, these copper chests could be really good. Looking through this page, I don't think this will just be possible. I think it'll be easy. So easy, in fact. Hardcore mode. At this point in the video, something strange happened. Now, I'm a very tech-savvy guy, and I've come to appreciate how far technology has come. Despite all that, something weird happened. My mic stopped recording. Now, I'd like to emphasize this is definitely the computer's fault and not my fault for clicking the mute button. All that's to say, this video will be primarily voiceover instead of live commentary. So, to start off, I made a simple data pack that immediately put me in the end at a random spot about 1,000 blocks away from the center island. Now, I got really lucky here because it actually spawned me right on top of a tree. And this is pretty important because, as you may be able to tell by looking at the surroundings, blocks will be our most important resource here. Without enough blocks, we can't get anywhere. Any block that we can salvage matters. Now, unfortunately, the camps don't spawn with the dirt base that appeared when it generated on land, which means we can't use my original strategy of using saplings to grow trees, but I figured I should be able to pivot by using the wool stairs that spawned on each of the camps. After getting enough blocks, I began my journey to the center of the end. I decided to use this pretty slow method of bridging where I switch between upside down and normal stairs because if you line yourself up correctly, it allows you to go back and pick up your stairs while still having a bridge back the way you came. I visited this neighboring island where I was able to get more logs to bridge and then continued northeast in the direction of the Ender Dragon. Again, I really need to emphasize how important each block is. Every block that falls into the void adds up, and if I'm not able to cover that 30 or so blocks to the next camp, the challenge is doomed to fail. After that, I fell into a sort of loop. Bridge to another island, get blocks, go to the next island. But I realized if I stand just correctly while breaking the stairs, I have a pretty good chance of picking up the block. I don't really need a bridge back the way I came, meaning I'm wasting a lot by leaving one behind every other block. I tried out my new strategy, trying to forget about the endless void lying below, and sure enough, it worked. But soon after, I discovered a problem. See, my strategy for this challenge had relied on the loot from chests, but I noticed I hadn't seen any yet. I checked the debug screen, and my worst fear was confirmed. Chests don't generate when there's nothing to generate on, so things like buckets, bows, and copper tools couldn't be accessed from loot, and the rare items from copper chests were definitely off the table. Fortunately, as you can see, the barrels do generate, giving us not much to work with. My odds against this Ender Dragon were not looking great. Despite that, I continued on my journey, getting as many blocks as I could, grabbing loot, and having a couple of near misses that were only a little bit scary at the time. I also spawned in some new friends who disappeared under mysterious circumstances. And then I saw it. The destination. The home of the Ender Dragon. I continued bridging, all the while getting more materials, and then I began my ascent. I set foot upon the island, and the fight with the Ender Dragon began. Good news, chests could spawn on the End Island, meaning I had access to the loot tables, and I planned to use them to my advantage. And I finally got to take a look at the rare copper chest, and make a new friend. Not even close. With one final explosion, all the dragon's crystals were gone. Now, it's just me and the dragon. And an army of Endermen that definitely weren't scary and did not cause any problems at all. I did not nearly lose. After that daring escape, I harvested some resources, proved my ability as a professional pyrotechnician, and finally, after 2 hours, completed the challenge. As the dragon turned to dust, I reflected on my time in this challenge, the bridges I built, the difficulties I faced, the many failed attempts that I didn't put in the video because it would have ruined the flow, and I decided to accept my victory with humility, and most importantly, grace. Wait, my mic wasn't on the whole time? Oh, come on!